What's up, Mets fans, and welcome back to the True Mets Talk podcast with your boy CP. It is Friday. I'm recording this on December 15th, the night of December 15th, and it will be dropping on the channel on the morning of December 16th. We have some late night reports heating up about the Mets' offensive free agent market pursuit, particularly in terms of one player for a potential role with the 2024 New York Mets as a DH and as a versatile utility player, perhaps. Let's talk about all of that. I'll be talking about that certain player and the fit with the Mets. Before we get into that, make sure you're tuning into the podcast, subscribing to the channel, hitting that thumbs up to support the podcast, and commenting your own thoughts and opinions about this particular topic. You know where to find me at all my social media handles at CPNYSPORTS for all of your latest podcast updates. Programming alert, I am heading out of town until Wednesday of next week. So I'll be out of commission on the podcast, but as soon as I get back, I'll get right back into making these videos for your Mets offseason updates. So subscribe to the channel. Without further ado, let's talk about some New York Mets baseball. All right, so let's get into it. New York Post's Mike Puma, Mets beat reporter, is reporting the fact that the Mets and free agent Justin Turner, the talks between the two parties are heating up as of recent. This report was released as of right 20 minutes ago when I first started making this podcast episode on the night of December 15th. Like I said, it's going to be dropping a day later, the morning after. So let's see if anything materializes, and hopefully I don't have to record this with an official signing happening before I drop this. But like I said, we'll talk about Justin Turner's potential fit with the Mets. And familiar face, like I said, the Mets chose to let him go. Didn't have the most promising of careers with the New York Mets. They let him walk. He became a Los Angeles Dodger where his career took off, and the rest was history. Most recently, this 39-year-old right-handed hitter spent his time in Boston in 2023. And you can look at the offensive stat categories on the left, as well as his defensive time split in those 146 games with Boston last year on the right. 146 for the 39-year-old, 23 home runs, which is great, 96 RBIs to go along with those 23 home runs, hit 276 and had an even 800 OPS. And you can see on the right-hand side was primarily a DH in those 146 games, appearing as a DH in 98 of them. First base got a decent workload at first base last season for the Boston Red Sox, and then also had some time spent at second base and third base. Now, when discussing a potential Justin Turner signing and his fit with the New York Mets, I've seen a lot of discourse on my timeline on X regarding how this potential signing would impact a Mark Vientos or a Brett Baty, particularly with that DH role for Mark Vientos and the third base role for either Vientos or Baty. Now, like I said, Brett Baty's playing time will remain untouched. There's nothing to worry about for Brett Baty if the Mets sign Justin Turner. I think that, especially with this Ronnie Mauricio injury happening, third base is strictly locked up by Brett Baty with no competition. Mark Vientos, as much as the Mets want to say that there's competition with Mark Vientos at third base, we saw him play third base last season for a little bit. He looked brutal. Now, I understand that he went to Puerto Rico to work with Lindor on the defensive side of his game, but Lindor is not a miracle worker. And quite frankly, with how he looked at third base, Mark Vientos is who I'm speaking about. It can't be fixed in one single offseason. So, for the sake of the 2024 New York Mets, I do not have Mark Vientos in the picture for third base. That is strictly up for Brett Baty's taking. And if he performs well, he'll have that third base spot, and he'll continue to be that guy for the New York Mets. Listen, Brett Baty's a guy who has under 162 game sample size in his MLB career so far. He stunk it up for the majority of 2023. Let's call it for what it is. But the Mets need to play him in order to find out if he's truly going to be that guy for the future at third base, or if they need to look at other options next offseason. And I think that this 2024 season, with still trying to be competitive is also sort of an experimental season by default for a guy like Brett Beatty, because you truly don't know what he has because you haven't seen enough of him, in my humble opinion. Now, a lot of people are saying the 115 games, 120 games that he's played in his career so far is more than enough of a sample size for them to judge whether Brett Beatty has what it takes or not, but I am not in that boat. So like I said, Brett Beatty's playing time will not be affected by Justin Turner. Mark Vientos, on the other hand, that story is a little bit different. We saw Mark Vientos back up Pete Alonso at first base for a little bit of last season. He did okay, but this situation with Justin Turner potentially coming into the New York Mets with a potential signing would impact that, and Justin Turner would automatically be slotted in to that backup first baseman role. Likewise, when Pete Alonso is playing first base, the DH spot is strictly going to be up to Justin Turner as well, which means no Mark Vientos as an everyday DH. Now, I've seen a lot of people talking about Mark Vientos and how they want to give him a shot as well. He had a little bit of a streaky season, started off really bad with the lack of playing time, got more consistent at bats, and we really saw that hitter that he was in AAA start to take off, especially with the power. Now, like I said, I'm not confident in Mark Vientos as an everyday DH for the New York Mets in 2024. I think if the objective is to win and be competitive, that would be up to a guy like Justin Turner, and I would be willing to give Justin Turner that 1-year deal to be that DH for the New York Mets. And like I said, it is going to be a 1-year deal. This guy is not in the prime of his career, although he can still hit the hell out of the ball. He is not in the prime of his career. He's 39 years old, and that's what makes him a little less versatile than what people are talking about on the timeline right now. He's not going to be playing the bulk load of second base. He's not going to be playing any bulk load of third base. That's why I don't worry about Brett Beatty's playing time. He's 39 years old, can still swing it, doesn't have as much legs under him in terms of playing those other positions like second base or third base. Now, like I said, you see it here for what it is. Immediate power with 23 plus home runs, hits for a little bit of average, is not going to hit for 300. But when I think about Justin Turner, like I said, I think about a complete hitter. He's very consistent and he hits to all fields, which is what the New York Mets, when they go into slumps, forget. They forget that they can hit the ball the other way. And Justin Turner, when he's on the top of his game, which from the plate is more often than not, he knows how to hit the ball the other way. Which I think could be a great asset. And he is a very versatile hitter from that right-handed side of the box to put behind Pete Alonso. And like I said, he's not going to scare you as much as if you're an opposing pitcher with the long ball as, say, a Teoscar Hernandez or a Jorge Soler or a JD Martinez. But Justin Turner on a 1-year deal does not handcuff the New York Mets in terms of the future DH spot. It'd be a 1-year deal. It'd be a bridge DH spot until some of the other names hit the market, like Juan Soto, for example, if he hits free agency in 2025. A guy like Jorge Soler and Teoscar Hernandez, while I would love to see those signings materialize, are a little bit of a different story because they will presumably command a multi-year deal for those guys who are a little bit earlier on in their careers, maybe closer to their primes than Justin Turner is. So like I said, I think Justin Turner is a valid option at the DH spot. I would be all for this type of signing. I would be up for JD Martinez as well. I know a lot of people are scared about that back injury that he has been dealing with. He performed very well for the Los Angeles Dodgers last year on that 1-year deal, hit 33 home runs for them. So like I said, another option for the Mets, but it is looking like the Mets are more interested and more serious about Justin Turner than JD Martinez. And we'll see about the left field sort of options for the Mets. Like I said, Teoscar Hernandez and Justin Turner, both this offseason, are not out of the question. But for what we know right now with Mike Puma's reports is that Justin Turner is kind of taking that spotlight as of right now. So like I said, given what we just discussed here on this episode, a very short episode, just want to give my 2 cents on Justin Turner, who he is, and how I think he does fit very well for the 2024 New York Mets without sort of trapping the Mets into commitment for the DH spot for 2025 and beyond. I think this is perfect. Let me know what you think in the comments. Like I said, you see the stats up on the screen. You see his split time in the field / DH on the right-hand side of the screen. You make it up to your own interpretation about if you want to see Justin Turner as the everyday DH this coming season for the Mets. I will not answer that for you, but I did give you my answer and my preference, and I would love to see Justin Turner, a reunion with Justin Turner. I think it'd be the perfect story, and a perfect full circle moment. So like I said, let me know what you think in the comments. Hit that thumbs up button. I definitely appreciate all the thumbs up. That is the best way outside of subscribing to the channel that you can support this podcast, is by hitting that thumbs up and commenting your thoughts and opinions. I want to hear what you all, the viewers, have to think about a potential Justin Turner signing, not only with his offensive abilities, but how that dynamic works with Mark Vientos and Brett Beatty in their playing time. And like I said, make sure you get all of your podcast updates on X and Instagram, all my handles, including my YouTuber at CPNY Sports. Without further ado, like I said, I'll be taking a couple days off, about 5 days off from the podcast. We'll be out of town with no computer or no means to record any podcasts. Maybe I'll do a short, but it's not likely. So if you don't hear from me, I'm good. I'll be on X. I'll be providing my updates on Twitter, but I'll wait until Thursday, Friday of next week to provide some more podcast episodes such as this one on the channel. So like I said, it's your boy CP. Let's go Mets, and let's see if this signing does come to fruition. Peace. Thank you for watching the latest episode of the CP New York Sports Pod. If you enjoyed this content, make sure you hit that thumbs up, comment your thoughts and opinions, and use the lower right-hand button of this video to subscribe to the channel.